Friends, today I would like to talk about how the technology of Kundalini works, how Kundalini yoga works. Before starting to practice yoga, it would be good to understand the basic principles, but I won't be able to explain the entire technology to you in full, because after all, this practice is sacred, secret, and we will never learn all its mysteries completely, but the basic principles and foundations I think everyone who practices should know. So, Kundalini translates as coiled spiral. Usually, it is visually depicted as a snake that is located in the first chakra, the root chakra, or in the area of the coccyx. Of course, you have all heard about the energy centers that we call chakras, and accordingly, when we push the Kundalini energy upward, the energy from this coiled spiral, it moves through each chakra, rises upward, and we connect with the divine above. So accordingly, the energy rises through the first, second, third, fourth chakra, and so on. We feel a transformation of consciousness. We realize that our state is changing, and we catch certain insights, as it's fashionable to say now, some revelations, and we understand that we are moving in the right direction. It might seem like that's all there is, but in reality, the practice is much more complex and intricate. And this is quite a simplified view. In fact, everything is a bit more complicated. What am I talking about? As we are all well aware, a person is not just a physical shell, but there are also several other shells that are invisible, much more subtle, and we can only sense them on a deep, intuitive feeling level. In some way we must find a way to acknowledge them, but still to a greater or lesser extent we come to the realization and understand that there is a gross physical body, and there is also a non-physical subtle body. This layer is also frequently called the pranic body. There is a mental body, the mental body, or in other words, the body of the mind. Some people also distinguish the astral body, or the body of desires, and so on. This is by no means a complete list, because there are even subtler bodies, such as the nimbus, for example, but we won't talk about them now, because for us these are still very high and subtle matters that we haven't reached yet. We'll start with the physical and the subtle body. The subtle body is also called the energy body. And if you have ever practiced Qigong, then that's exactly what is meant by the subtle or energy body. That is, in Chinese terminology, this is called Qi energy. In Indian terminology, this energy is called prana. This is our life energy, and we receive it through breathing. When we inhale and exhale, we fill our subtle body with energy. That's it. In Kundalini Yoga, there are many practices. For example, you can find practices labeled as for relieving stress or for anger management. Where do these names come from, and how does it work? If you know, in Chinese medicine, the human body is divided into meridians. There are about 12 main meridians along which Qi energy or prana flows. Accordingly, for example, we have the vital liver meridian. And by consistently performing certain targeted exercises for this specific meridian, we can directly influence the health of the liver. From the broader perspective of our internal emotions, the liver is the organ primarily responsible for managing feelings of anger and deep-seated irritation. And so when we fill the channel of this with new, fresh energy, we remove blockages from this channel, and as a result, both our physical and astral bodies relax. That is, we release our emotions, remove blockages, and as a result, anger and irritation are released. Yes, exactly. You can also, for example, explain the practice for relieving stress. We know that the kidneys are responsible for stress because they are associated with the water element. So when we once again influence the kidneys, the kidney meridian, yes, that is, we raise an arm, raise a leg in a certain position and perform the practice. So accordingly, we influence a certain meridian and our emotional release occurs, an outpouring of emotions. For example, if you've seen some people, when they practice for the heart center, which is blocked for them, they start to cry. So when we influence a certain meridian, it frees us from tension and blockages and from these emotions. But it's important to understand that the practice of Kundalini Yoga is not only an influence on the subtle pranic body, but also a serious influence on the mental body and the body. Here we're talking about meditations and the practice of meditation or chanting mantras. They are aimed at calming the mind, but to explain even more clearly how the practice of Kundalini Yoga works, look, let's take a rocket as an example. We need to launch a rocket into space. The rocket is us. To launch a rocket, you need a certain amount of power and accordingly a large supply of fuel. In this case, the supply of fuel is our prana, our life force. When we are full of energy, we can accomplish any task. We are in a good mood, we feel lively and cheerful, we can talk, we can laugh, we can enjoy life, and most importantly, we can take action. But for that, we need to have a lot of fuel. So accordingly, when we have pumped up our body with pranic energy, we need to go upward and we launch the rocket. And the rocket's task is to pass through the Earth's orbit, that is, to go through all the layers that surround the Earth. At first, these layers are dense at the bottom, then they become more transparent, invisible, and subtle. It's the same with the human body. First come the denser layers, the physical, astral, and mental bodies, and then the layers become increasingly subtle. And accordingly, by cleansing each layer and moving upward, we also move through the chakras from denser matter to ever more divine states. And finally, we reach this point and we are in space.